How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, with Final Fantasy 16 coming out in pretty much less than a week now, there's been a lot of debate, a lot of discussion since the demo's been around and people have gotten to play it. You know, majority of people probably like it. You know, there is some people that kind of dislike it or have a few things they don't like, but I don't think really anybody hates the demo or thinks, you know, the game's going to be horrible or it's a bad Final Fantasy game. But I definitely do think the game caters to a certain audience over another audience. And that would be, you know, if you're an old school fan or you remember the old Final Fantasies, how they used to be, this game's going to play very different and be very much not like those. Now, if you like Final Fantasy 15 or you like, you know, more action combat, you know, more fluid gameplay, faster gameplay, this game has that, and it does it very well. The combat's very fluid, it's very nice. You know, you got the parry, you got the dodge system that feel good. When you hit stuff, it feels like there's impact. You know, they're reacting, which is very solid, something you definitely want to have in a game like this. It's got flashy combat, you know, you got all colors and effects going on and stuff, and it really is a spectacle. And a lot of the cutscenes are interactable, and the cutscenes are super well done, just like you'd expect. Very cinematic. The story is very interesting. Definitely when you beat the demo, it gives you many questions that you want to have answered. So just like the majority of Final Fantasy games, the story's gonna be there. You know, I'm sure the world's gonna be huge. I'm sure we're going to have lots to do, and there's going to be way more, you know, character customization and development for Clive. You get the different icons that all have their own little development path with like a combat wheel, just like you have in the beginning and the demo here, to unlock different combos and moves. So, you know, there's a lot going on that's good for it. There's a very good lot, and I have no doubt the game will sell well. I have no doubt it will do well. It is a PS5 exclusive, which is an interesting choice, but it does give the PS5 way more, you know, useful games, way more good games. So it'll be interesting to see how sales do when it's a single console that gets it. But, you know, overall, it's shaping up to be a great game. It's shaping up to even be a Game of the Year contestant for a lot of people just on how it is in the demo. But there are, like I said, quite a few older fans, people that have been playing the game since the early 90s, even mid-late 90s, that got used to how those games were, you know, all the way up to Lightning Returns, which was about, you know, 2010, 2011 was when the third one came out. You know, we had the trilogy there, and it was turn-based combat. It was more tactical. It was slower. You had, you know, meaningful party members. They contributed to the story. They all had their own development paths and growth, and, you know, you had ones you liked, so you had them in your party, and you had ones you didn't like, so you had them out of your party. You know, and it was great because you had a lot more flexibility and choice and options. And in this game, one of the, I guess, questionable things that some people like and some people hate is that there is no party members, really. You get your faithful little dog, Tortle. He's customizable to an extent, and he can do a few things, you know. So there's you could argue he's your permanent party member. The rest of the party members are all guests. They come and go, and, you know, they help out a little bit, but you have no control over what they do or how they act or what moves they know or what moves they don't know, as far as I'm able to discern, unless there's something in the main game that changes that. But it's mostly going to be a single player, you know, single dude going around the world with his dog to stop the evil empire and other things. So if you were looking for a party style game, like I said, that's going to be kind of lacking. But, you know, it is what it is. That's just how they chose to develop the game. And if you have played the MMO Final Fantasy XIV, which, I don't know, I'm sure most of you probably have if you're a Final Fantasy fan, you'll find that this game is very familiar in certain ways. Not only is the soundtrack very familiar, not only is the art style or the direction, the cinematography, the feel, the combat, even though Final Fantasy XIV is, you know, a tab target kind of MMO, it can kind of feel similar when you're sitting there chaining your combos on an enemy, you know, like if you were playing a melee class in 14 or something. But it definitely gives off vibes of Final Fantasy XIV, very many vibes. And I think that's mostly to do with the fact that the main director of 14 is the main director on this game. So that's very interesting. It's very neat to see the resemblance and how he has a style unique to him that he brings to other games that he's, you know, directing and helping make. And of course, you know, the combat is very I'm going to say it's Devil May Cry-like. You know, you could say it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts combat. You could say it's like any other action RPG that has, you know, fast, fluid, responsive combat. And I hope the game, you know, delivers well, and I hope it does well. But like I said, if you are a fan of the older games, this might not be a game for you, especially if you can't handle real-time combat due to just having a slow reaction time, or just maybe having some type of issue why you can't do that. They do have a couple handicap modes, I would call them, or like beginner modes, or whatever you want to call them, easy modes to make the game easier for you that you can turn on to make it so time slows down when you are about to get hit so you can dodge. There's a couple other ones that make combat a little bit easier and a little bit more friendly for people that, you know, don't like action full-time combat. But let me know what you guys think. Is it a game for you? Is it a game you're going to get? Do you plan on picking it up? I know some of you want it, some of you don't. I'd be curious as the reasons why. Let me know down below in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.